morning, friends. My name is Miss Ellie White, and I'm here to talk to you about Obama's latest trade move. 1 month before he leaves office, and he's in dire distress on how to fix Russia once and good for all. So, what's going on? We have several measures all of a sudden being rushed in front of Senate and Congress and everybody in the universe to get rid of anybody who might be friendly to Russia. Okay, now we have the instance of Russia helping Assad to get rid of the evil, dominating Americans who have a operation called New American Century, in which it was decided that 7 nations should be toppled, regimes changed, puppets put in order to make sure that America and America alone could remain a single world power. Well, if there's anything that we've learned in our history, and it won't be about flat Earth, it'll be that power corrupts. And before our pre-world, Cold War era, the Russians on one side and the U.S. on the other is kind of scary and complicated as it was to everyone living in those times. It provided a balance. Okay, and now since Russia had, lost the communist USSR regime and been kind of ignored for a number of years, suddenly they're back stronger than ever, and America's like, oh my gosh, what did we do? We're busy toppling all these Arabs, and we forgot to think about the Russians. Well, when Assad called for Russia to come and assist in getting rid of Americans who simply wanted to put in their own favorite government, Russia went to their assistance. Various things happened back and forth on both sides. And all of a sudden you have Kerry meeting with Russia and, we're going to get along, we're going to be peaceful. And every time they declare a ceasefire for humanitarian reasons, Obama's ISIL troops and Hillary's al-Nusra troops go sneaking on in and recapture 40% of the territory which had been removed from the terrorists. So Russia said enough is enough, and we need to come back in. They were invited back by Assad and went to have discussions with him, when lo and behold, a truck, supposedly loaded with supplies, barrels into the middle of 27 Russian generals and blows them out to the sky. Dirty pool. Not something to gain respect of any nation to do. So Russia pulled up its roots, went back home, said we did what we said we were going to do, so we're leaving. Well, Assad begged for them to come back and assist in getting rid of the terrorists that keep receiving American training and weapons, and I'm not sure how they think that the Arabs and the Syrians can't listen, but 5,000 or 10,000 soldiers in each area to tell them what to do is excessive, and it does entail boots on the ground. So you now have where in the last couple of years, our entire U.S. coal processing, mining facilities have all been shut down. And Obama has promised, we're going to come in, we're going to get natural gas. It's going to be new, it's going to be clean. You'll all have new jobs when the new company comes along. Don't worry about a thing. As soon as somebody says checks in the mail or don't worry about the thing, that's the time you need to really look at what's going on behind the scenes. Okay, because in that area of the country this winter, they are estimating that tens of thousands of people will die this winter for not having any source of heat. So where did the natural gas go? All we heard about is fracking, fracking, fracking. What the frack is up with fracking? You have many people who did without all the, dinner houses and movie theaters and excitements of the city in order to live in pure and pristine rural areas, cute country roads, little pond to fish in with your little boy on the weekend. All the just natural nature, we're family and we love each other kind of things, right? Now, you have these wells that they used to just bubble up springs out of the ground, and you could see how fresh and clear it was, and you could drink it right as it literally pours out of the gravel alongside of your driveway. And those waters in those wells are now coming up as black, destroyed by us pumping millions of gallons of water into each well when we're in the middle of a, you guessed it, water crisis. We can all of a sudden afford to take every drop of pure water that we have, pump it into the ground, help the gas to come to the surface, and then we take the wastewater and shove it down good water wells, which further contaminates our drinking water supply and our water table. So now you've got a whole section of the country with no way to heat their homes. You've got all the water sources destroyed and being destroyed. Don't forget the one about on the Sioux Indian Reservation. That's a whole nother issue. But the water sources are destroyed, the coal sources are destroyed, and you've got a ton and an abundance of gas. Where has that gas gone? That gas has not gone to America. It has gone to test countries to see if we could get people in foreign countries to buy our natural gas. Now, keep in mind the fact that you got to put it on a ship and pay for that whole shipping line to take something across the seas. So you have an extremely expensive added expense. You have the wells are drying up in the fracking region, but we don't care. Now, why did they say that we're going to put in 88,000 new wells in America and we don't care? We're going to be the world's power in oil and gas. And it's been overestimated by something like 10 times. And we're basically down to the last drips in the barrel as far as the natural gas goes. So you think we would hold those reserves or give them to the poor or give them to people who don't have jobs right now? Because right now America does nothing for heat in any country, any county, any state. If the privately held utility company decides to let the local utility round its bill up to the next even dollar, that's the only way we have of helping anyone who needs heat. And trust me, I know everything about heat because I have had 7 winters in this snowy mountain now without any heat, by myself, alone. So I can tell you all about the inside scoop on heat. We should have on our local utility bills a spot where people can round it up to the nearest dollar, check a box for $5, check a box for $10, or check a box where there's a blank line and they can put in however much they want to donate to heat. Because there are people that have died and are going to die in my own town this winter because they can't afford any utilities at all. So we're in the middle of a serious crisis. When they say in the middle of summer that no one in 90% of America has an extra $400 without selling something. And then 4 months later, they come back and say, now none of that same pool of people has even $100. Okay, that was in the summer when nobody had turned their gas on yet. And we had probably 8 houses on every block that didn't have water or electricity or gas or all of the above. And now it's winter. And I used up $80, then $120, and then $200 worth of wood in the first 3 days of official winter. So I've used up already as much winter wood now, the first week of November, as usually I burn all the way through till May, the end of May. Okay? And we haven't even started yet. So we're in trouble. So where do you think all these giant containers of excess gases from these tens of thousands of wells that Obama insisted had to be put in this summer, pump it all up as fast as you can, destroy every underground river, water, aquifer that there is, get that oil and natural gas out of the ground? I'll tell you what we're doing with it. It's a giant economic scheme of Obama to send it all to Russia, not to help Russia, but to undercut the Russian natural gas companies, which they rely on for most of their social services for all of those people. And there's another dealio in front of the Senate, a new bill, which will allocate billions of dollars to anti-Russian agenda and shutting down their medias and going in and actively campaigning and sending in paid Hillary people to jump up and down and say, we don't want Russia anywhere near us, help, help. And they're paid actors. We're going to go in and try to destabilize Crimea and Ukraine to get back at Russia because they became a world power again. And they've done nothing to us. And as I said in the Syrian example of the 27 generals being bombed by a U.S. truck bomb, and the American aid convoy, dozens of rail cars full of supplies, bombed again. No Russian planes were in the area. The only person it could have been at all is the Americans or the Syrians, which if they're seeing aid come, food and water, and their kids are dying from not having any food, they wouldn't have been the ones to blow it up. So that leaves America only left. You know, just process of deduction. Russia was not there, and Syria needed that food desperately. So if we take all this gas and we ship it over to Ukraine, and it costs 50% of the price of the gas per gallon, just for the shipping and the boat to get it there, you're talking about billions of dollars of American tax-paying money going to subsidize the company for that. We're going to pay out of our tax dollars to ship a whole bunch of natural gas to Russia so we can blow them out of the water economically and destroy the rest of their social infrastructure this winter. Now, if Britain is saying they're going to lose 10,000 people this winter to death who can't afford heat, what about the poorer and more rural areas in Russia? We can't destroy an entire nation because we were busy bombing the Arabs and didn't notice them coming back into power. They've been extremely patient, extremely cooperative, and we deserve for that extra natural gas that's lying around to go to our people that are starving and dying and don't have utilities right here in America. Or if you wanted to be extra sweet about this, send it to Russia. Subsidize the whole damn thing and give it to them for free. Give it to the people that are starving and don't have heat for free here. Use it to let the price of oil and gas fall. Instead of pushing for agreements. See, Russia doesn't know about this undercutting with natural gas yet. Okay? The only thing they've heard out of America is smiles and let's sign this bill to across the board cut our oil production. They haven't mentioned anything about the natural gas that they're going to dump on Ukraine and Russian and European markets in order to totally devastate and destroy Russia from the inside out. They don't deserve this, and as peaceful and understanding and patient as he's been throughout this entire election scam. I mean, 2 months before Hillary announced she was running, we were friends with Russia. And all of a sudden, her campaign staff decided Trump's a businessman, he's made a lot of money. So we need something to go against him with. Aha! If we say that we're on the edge of war and Hillary's been involved in the Secretary of State and all this other stuff for so long, she's the perfect negotiating person, we have to let her become president. But the only way to ensure her win was to lie about what's going on with Russia. I mean, nobody ever denied that the truth of what those emails was true. They're just angry about where it came from. And trust me, that story is so awful and horrendous about all the things that she's done for 40 years. Putin was not even in power when probably 75% of that stuff happened. So, you just need to go somewhere else on that one and give it up. If you had not stolen, killed, destroyed other countries, then she probably would be president right now. But the problem was she bought the media, so they lied to the Kool-Aid drinkers and had so many negative things on her roster that her best friends didn't trust her. So, she got greedy too quick and jumped the gun, so to speak, and because of that lost the election. But when you have people saying, "Oh, the polls misjudged it and they got it all wrong," no, they didn't. She had dinners and teas for them ahead of her even announcing she was going to run in order to be ensure that they would write favorable stories about her. So are we now going to sit back and destroy the only other partner world nation that's out there? And they're not going to be too happy when they see the oil start arriving and they start realizing that Obama is pissed that he lost in Syria and he wants to make a giant dump economically of natural gas upon Ukraine and other countries that would have bought natural gas from Russia and their pipelines in order to just try to destroy them economically. And the people are hurting so bad from sanctions. And the people that they're being sanctioned against are our alliance partners. And that means that Germany's dumping their milk. Jamaica's dumping their milk. Jamaica's not growing bananas. Other countries across Europe are not being able to sell their products to Russia because Obama declared it illegal to give anything or sell anything or have any trade with Russia. So when are we going to get off this pious, I'm the most important individual in the world and this has to be my legacy and you must not sell to this person, but we'll bring in all of our natural gas and dump it on them at a way serious undercut price, and we will destroy all social services in Russia for doing that. I'm waking up and my dog is shaking. He's so cold. And we're going to give it to Russia to destroy someone who beat him at Syria? Who stopped his agenda of destroying the 8th country just to put in their own government so that he can tell the leaders what to do and then give them some of our hacked out voting machines to keep the agenda going? This isn't right, my folks. We need to start standing up and standing for what's morally right. And our soldiers are sworn to uphold the Constitution, not listen to any evil individual who would try to kill hundreds of thousands and even tens of millions of people, if you add them up, of all the countries affected by this around the world, in order to get back at somebody for resurrecting a nation. Somebody who's bent over backwards to be diplomatic towards us. And yes, I am moving to be the Russian ambassador, having been chosen by Peru and Colombia, just because of my love and working for the people and not being exposed to these evil corruption things. I mean, face it, guys. The Democratic National Chair seat, Debbie Wasserman, her brother's name is David Wogernies. He changed it to Wogernies from Wasserman to hide the fact that they're affiliated. Stole my farm, worth $128 million, left me without a nickel to my name, gave $3,300,000 to Hillary in case she won the election. His sis would get the Secretary of State spot. So you want to talk about how bad evil corrupts and the people that it affects? I'd appreciate any letters that you can. Just sending me a sweet little prayer to buffalostudy@yahoo.com. And if you can assist in helping me to, just get utilities paid before they run out this Saturday, that would be awesome. I am at paypal.me/buffalostudy@yahoo.com. And to everybody in Russia, including Mr. Putin, we love you, and none of the people in America have any idea that this was what his agenda was in sticking in 88,000 new wells and shutting down our coal here in the States. Because we're going to all freeze this winter, just like you are, just so Obama can say that he got back at you. So we're very sorry. We love all of you, all our Russian brothers and sisters in Christ. We'll see you in heaven, and we hope to support you all. Miss Ellie White, BuffaloStudy@yahoo.com. Take care and have a great day.